Welcome to another episode of Business Fumbles. I'm your host, Sheila Williams, and today we have another guest. Her name is Michelle Davis, and she is a personal fitness training. So I'm going to have her introduce herself and tell you guys a little bit about her.
Hello. Hi, everybody. Thank you for listening, watching, wherever you're streaming from. Appreciate you being here. Thank you, Sheila, for having me. And thank you for doing all that you do and saving my day. I tell you, at the end of the night when I want to sleep, I just think of Sheila and then I rest my head on the pillow and I'm good to go. Yeah. Any problems at all, this is my lifesaver. So yeah, when it comes to having your own business, before you even think about the business, think about your accountant at Sheila Williams.
I thank you for that shout
Yeah.
out. I really do. So I have been watching you for a while and being, in the personal training industry. This is something that is being heavily saturated,
Yes.
you
You're
know.
telling me.
And then you're in the industry where, you have to cater to consumers like myself.
Yep. Yep.
And a lot of times, um, we pick and choose the times when we want to be healthy. And a lot of times, like for a lot of the gyms that I see, their income is pretty high in January where they're making their New Year's resolution,
Yep.
and then right before summer, and then, they go back into the house.
Mm-hmm.
So I wanted to discuss how that affects you, how you deal with
Yes.
things like that.
It's a very up and down industry. One month you are like on cloud nine, and then the next month you're down in the dumps. So you got to find that happy medium, and you got to have extra things to cater to when it comes to not just getting them in shape, but meal plans, doing progress photos, maybe even holding their hand and taking them to the grocery store and teaching them things to buy, showing them how to meal prep.
Mhm.
Pretty much everything under the sun when it comes to them getting out of what they think is right. And even though they may be right on a certain extent, them being right was maybe 10 years ago or way
Right.
back in the day. A lot of people, they feel like, I want to be the weight I was when I was in my 20s or my 30s. And I'm like, well, lots changed since then. So let's kind of take a step back and have some realistic goals.
Right.
Also, them getting out of their house. Now that it's oversaturated because of social media, a lot of people think they're going to accomplish the goals by having an online personal trainer,
Mhm.
which, you got your Peloton, you got your Lululemon mirror, you got all these things that you never need to leave the house. Well, let me tell you, you got to leave the house. You need to have an accountability buddy to be there and to, maybe a friend, yes, to motivate you,
Mhm.
but a coach to watch how you're breathing, watching your form, watching like if you are overly stressed to slow you down, to maybe look at everything that you're not paying attention to. That's why we're here to make sure that you're doing a good job to get the results that you need. So when it comes to back when there was no social media, you went to the gym.
Yep.
Now that there is social media, it's overly saturated by so many different things to choose from that a lot of people just get overwhelmed and they don't decide on anything. And it
Right.
just gets them exhausted. So, the one thing that I like to do is I like to keep things very simple. I do offer online training, but I will tell you what, if you really want results, get out of the house, go to a gym or an environment where you can feel yourself. You're not overwhelmed with a lot of people. You're not overwhelmed by the loud music. You're certainly not sharing sweat with someone else by sharing the gym equipment because there's a lot of germs. So,
Mhm.
one of the things that after COVID was lifted and all the businesses came back to being open, I opened a private boutique gym that caters to one on one training so that people can have the space that they need. They can get the undivided attention they deserve. And then that way they can be in an environment that they can slow down. They can feel themselves. They're not embarrassed. They can go in there and wear, a lot of people go in there. I got to do my makeup. I got to look perfect. I got to have the gym. Or
Yeah.
the suits. I got to look great.
Mm-hmm.
Having a gym where you're dropping the ego, and even things like you can listen to the music you want.
Mm-hmm.
It's all catered to you in 1 hour, where I tell people this is your selfish time. This is a time to put the kids aside, to put the business aside, to really, really focus on you. And a lot of people, they have a hard time doing that when they got so many things thrown at them. And again, when you take it in person in a physical business, social media should not be the thing that is going to help you stay in shape. You got
Yeah.
your fitness pals, you got your things you can
Yeah.
track, you got all of that. But when it comes to you doing the actual physical work, that's why they call it work
Mm-hmm.
out,
Yeah.
because it's
Yeah.
work and you're working it out. You're not,
Yeah.
so those are a lot of the things that I started in the fitness industry when I unfortunately lost my sister to breast cancer 7 years ago. When she became terminal, I found that fitness was the one thing that helped me with the grieving process.
Oh,
I put my
okay.
life aside. I didn't work because I was traveling every month to spend as much time with her as I could.
Mm-hmm.
And the only thing that I could do was work out, not only to relieve all of the grieving and the sadness and the anger, but after I visited her and spent time with her, I went to the gym. So as I was getting into shape, I realized, oh my God, this is helping my mental health just as much as it's helping my physical health. And when I
Oh.
put all of that together, and unfortunately, when she passed, I went ahead and stepped out of my comfort zone and I did a bodybuilding show.
Mm-hmm.
And I kept doing them and I kept winning. And I was learning all of these tools and tips and tricks of how to help other people. I was having a lot of people come up to me and ask me, how do you do this? What do you eat? This and that, this and that. And I thought, okay, my sister's passed. I've done the shows. Now it's time to get to work. So that's when I went ahead and I opened up my own gym. And I started taking people in. And again, it's a private boutique gym where I just do by appointment only.
Right.
I help, I do small groups, I do couples, but I like it just one on one.
Mm-hmm.
That way, if someone has a stressful day, they got a lot of stuff on their plate, things that they don't feel comfortable talking about, I build a relationship with them in an environment they feel comfortable. And then therefore they can work on the mental health as well as the physical health.
Oh, well, that is very, very, you touched on so many things that I need to go back so that we can elaborate on.
Yeah.
And the first thing is, I like how you said, you emphasize that it's called work out,
Yes.
to get out of the house.
Yes.
Because a lot of people, including myself, I used to work
Mm-hmm.
out in the comforts of my home. But I will be the first to say is that I just worked out to say that worked out.
Yeah.
I didn't really put a lot of energy into it. And then it was very easy for me to say, I'm not going to do it because it's in my house.
Mm-hmm.
And nobody, I'm not really taking accountability for it.
Yep.
Because it's so easy. And then when COVID happened, a lot of people, they were working at home, so they worked out at home, and the gyms were closed,
Mm-hmm.
right? And so going back, I love what you said that it's called work out, because there was a lot of people that continued, and the companies continue to allow them to work from home, and these people are getting depressed,
Yep.
overweight,
Yep.
and they have so many anxiety. The anxieties are building up.
You got to get out of the
and
house.
and I have a family member that's an attorney, and she was working from home, and now she's outside the house, and because she switched and she's a judge now, but she feels so much better. Her attitude is changing, her outlook on life is changing. And so the fact that you said, and I want you to elaborate on that, like the difference from working out at home than that gym. What, you know, how it's helping you mentally to actually get out the house, to
Yep.
commit
Yep.
to getting out of that house, to commit to go and get the help that you need, and to commit to become better at it. You know,
Let's paint a picture real quick.
yes.
We're animals.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. You go to a zoo.
Mm-hmm.
You see animals that are in their cages and they're walking back and forth along the cages. They're walking in circles. You know, you're thinking to yourself, man, like, I feel like that's me sometimes when I don't leave the house.
Yeah.
I'm like a caged animal just walking back and forth in my cage, you know? And then think about you go on the open plains. You know, you're going to Africa and you're cruising in the Jeep and you're looking at the lions that are out there on the plains and they're all in their packs and they're doing their thing to like pray, you know, get their food and everything. That's us, you know, on a day-to-day basis on how we live our lives. Are we going to stay indoors? Are we going to just stay in the comforts of our environment? And then all of a sudden, we're not being social. We're not getting out there. We're not like being able to socialize with other people. You know, like being uncomfortable is the same thing as excitement.
Yeah.
There's no difference of when you're pushing yourself and you have a goal, you have to get excited, but it's also being uncomfortable. And those things are going to push you outside of your boundaries to where you're going to expand. Not your waistline is going to expand. Your mind's going to expand.
Yeah.
And that's the biggest thing. Our lives are too short and we have to stay goal oriented all the time. And it's also good to have 1, 2, 3 goals that are realistic, that are not like so disproportionate that you can't see how to begin. And the first thing to do is to take that first step, to actually say, I'm going to do this, because if you keep going back and forth, you're going to drive yourself crazy. You know, doing things in our routines on a habitual level day to day, it's always good to mix it up. That's why it's good to go on vacation. It's good to leave the comforts around us. And when we go somewhere new, we're excited, we're nervous, our survival skills kick up.
Yeah.
It's the same thing as going to a gym.
Yeah.
You know, you're going to a gym and you're around people you don't know, and you're maybe having to socialize with people that, you know, it's like they're not going to attack you. But a lot of people, when they're in the gym, if you've noticed, a lot of people are serious and they're focused and they're not talking to anybody. And it's like, that's okay on one level. You're here, you're determined, you put on your headset and you do your thing. But it's also another thing is, hey, if you go to a coach, you actually have someone you're working with that will make sure they have the equipment provided for you. They already know the workout they're going to have for you to work out for. You just show up with your energy, and you guarantee will have a better mindset when you leave the gym than when you did come in. That's my motto. You're going to feel better when you leave than when you come in, because your monkey mind is going of all these things that are happening in your life, the laundry, the bills, the kids. I got to do this. I got to do that. Oh, Sheila handles my taxes though. That's real nice. I can be comfortable and let that go. But at the same time, you go to the gym and you work out, your mind stops.
Yeah.
Your body is able to take motion.
Yeah.
And then therefore that is such a good, healthy outlet for you, because stress kills a lot of people.
Yeah.
You know, whether it's, you know, heart disease, whether it's bringing on a lot of tension, migraines, your body's tight, you can't relax. There's a lot of things that stress brings on that's going to bring on a lot of health issues. You don't want to go to the doctor. You don't want to be prescribed on prescriptions. What you need to do is just take a step back, to slow your roll, to actually calm your mind, to do some stuff that maybe by having a professional handle it for you is going to give you even more of a benefit.
Okay. So now I have another question.
Yeah.
You know, being in that the physical training industry, how important is it for, you know, clients or people that's coming in to understand their own health, like what's good for you and what's not? Because I trained before to do the bodybuilding.
Yep.
And I had gotten down so small, and they had me lifting all of this weight. I mean, I was flipping tires, jumping in and out of these tires and everything. And, I got so many compliments. Everybody that saw me said, "Oh, you look so nice."
Mm-hmm.
And this and that. And, how often do you work out? Because I had the cuts and all of that stuff. And then when I went to the doctor, you know, I developed high blood pressure.
Oh, yeah.
I developed, heart issues,
Yep.
all of this stuff. And then the doctor saying, okay, because you're using this supplement and that supplement. And this is things that I did not know.
Yep.
So, how important do you think when people are deciding to go that route to actually, do some educating themselves on your personal health? Because just because I
100%.
got it don't mean the next person is going to get it.
100%. The one thing is, don't compare yourself to others. Let go of the external. Look at the internal first. When you have a deep wound, it heals from the inside out. So when you think about, I'm going to go in and I'm going to do all the hard lifting and I'm going to do all of this and I'm going to do all of that. How's your hormones? How's your thyroid? What's your blood count look like? What are some genetic disorders that your family might have that you don't know? The underlining look I look at is, have you gone to the doctor and had your blood checked out? Have you had certain things inside of you that you need to kind of take care of? I have a lot of people who come to me who have diabetes or insulin resistance. And so they come to me knowing I do need to lose the weight and I do want to feel good, but I have all these health issues that I need to address.
Right.
And so the best thing that I can tell them is I look at them, I say, don't take this personal, but don't think that you know everything when it comes to nutrition, because you wouldn't be here
if you did.
Exactly.
Yep.
So it's almost like letting go and letting other people take on.
Yep.
And a lot of people do not like being told what to do, especially when it comes to their food.
Yeah.
You're going to take away my munchies. You're going to take away all of the good stuff. Who are you? And I'm paying you for this?
Yeah.
So I tell people, I say, eat all the junk food, get rid of it, do not throw it away because that's just going to make you mad. But look at it like you're going to have a small little breakup with your ice cream. You're going to have a small little breakup with your chips. You know what? You could get back together with them. You're going to take just a little separation period.
Yeah.
It's kind of like a mini divorce.
You can do it in moderation once you do get healthy. It's all about the moderation. But people don't understand that.
And again, it's the habits. All the emotions that are tied to feeling good when you're eating something to get rid of an emotion that you don't want. And then all of a sudden you're like, oh, I'm going to have some more of those. And the chemicals that are in some of the foods are engineered to get you so addicted that you have one bite and then you're caught and then you're having more and more and more. And then you run out and you're all of a sudden it's on my grocery list and you just keep on. And especially the fast food that is out there.
Yes.
The things that they put in the food, not like I'm not bad naming anything, but when you go to a restaurant, it's not made to be super healthy. It's made to taste good. So you don't know how much salt they're putting in or the butter that they're putting in or all the added ingredients that they're putting in your food to make sure that you come back because it's going to taste good. And then at the end of the day, the last thing you want to do is calorie count. And you don't want to sit here and plug in everything you've eaten or drinking. Some people do, and I say that's great. But I start from the beginning and I take a look at the emotions that they have that's geared around the food that they eat and the routines that they have that maybe they need to kind of habitually take a look at, slow it down, not beat themselves up. And that's the biggest thing. Stop beating yourself up. Stop talking bad about yourself. You need to get rid of the bully mentality.
Yeah.
And think about how there's a little baby inside of you or a little kid. Are you going to sit here and bully that little kid and make fun of you and all this and that? Because your body doesn't know any different.
Right.
If a lot of people come in and they say, oh, this sack of fat I got on me, blah, 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 blah. And I say, stop beating yourself up.
Oh, well, I do that.
You need to come
I always say that.
You need to come in here and take some action. Put on that superhero cloak
Yeah.
and say, okay, I'm here to start.
To
This is,
change it.
yes,
Yeah.
this is day
You
one.
have to change
So
it.
you have to start healing from the inside out. There's a car alarm going off. Anyone
I
out there
know.
that's listening, if your car is beeping, you might need to turn the alarm off because you're
You're distracting
yeah,
our
yeah.
podcast here.
Send out a tweet.
Okay.
There we go. They
That
heard
was
it.
funny.
They heard it.
That was funny.
Awesome. See, they read the message.
But,
That's good.
oh,
You got a
Lord.
popular show
Yes,
now. See,
yes,
people
that
are
is-
listening to the show.
I know.
That's good.
You know. Okay, so I also wanted to touch on, when you were talking about how you add
Mhm.
different services
Yep.
and how you have to, because your income is up and down. It's like a huge roller coaster.
Yep.
How do you put value to that? Like it's either you are using a value aspect or just an hourly rate. How do you go about doing that?
So I do
And-
online training.
Mm-hmm.
Online training could be I'm sending workouts to you.
Mm-hmm.
I also do virtual training where I'm actually sitting there watching them live, doing the workout with them. I do mobile training where I can go to their house,
Mm-hmm.
where I can train couples, or I even have parents that they want me to train their son,
Mm-hmm.
kids. So I do mobile training, online training, virtual training, and then if the gym permits, I can go to their gym.
Mm-hmm.
So there's no excuses of the things that I can offer,
And how do you put your value for that? Like
The way I
so
look
your
at-
value for online might be a lot, least expensive than you going to their house or
Yeah.
you going to the
Yep.
gym or whatever. And what type of pricing do you do? Do you do the value pricing? Like, listen, this is the price right here, and this is the value from that price.
Right.
Or do you just say, oh, I got a flat rate. It's $50 an hour,
Yeah, the rate that I look at is I look at my competition around me,
Mm-hmm.
and personal training is not cheap.
No, it's not.
I mean, it is typically a trainer charges anywhere from $75 to $100 an hour.
Yeah.
I have a boutique gym. It's by appointment only, and I really, really like my clients to sign up for the entire month, to
Mhm.
pay up front. It's like, this is your day and this is your time, and it's locked in. So I kind of come down on price a little bit because of the fact that I feel like they'll sign up for more sessions up front.
Mm-hmm.
So $50 an hour is
Mhm.
my rate.
Yeah.
And if I'm going to them, I got to block out the hour prior
Mhm.
and the hour after.
After. Yes.
So I say it's $100.
Mm-hmm.
If it's a couple, then I come down to $75 per person.
Mm-hmm.
If it's virtual and I'm training with them, it's the same price, $50 an hour,
Mm-hmm.
because I have a little tripod at my gym.
Mm-hmm.
If I'm sending workouts to them, then I ask them, do you want me to coach you and do a live coaching call and go over how your workouts are looking?
Mm-hmm.
Do you want to send me progress photos and I can look at your measurements and we can go over the assessments?
Mm-hmm.
Or do you just flat out want me to send you the workouts every day, every week? I kind of build a program of what exactly they're looking for. And then based on all of the extras, we kind of come up with, a price at that point.
A price at that point.
Yep.
Okay, well then that's good. And
Yeah.
it seems like it's more like you have that hourly rate, but you also incorporated that value aspect.
Yeah.
Because you're saying, hey, this is what you're going to get, and this is what we're going to do. And, like, I've seen you look great.
Thank you.
And it's been going for, every time I see you, it's like, man, I really need to get in the gym.
Oh, stop.
But we get past that.
Yeah. I've even worked
yes.
with companies. I've worked out with a group of ladies on their lunch break.
Oh, okay.
So I
Well,
bring-
thank you for letting me
gonna
know
say,
that, because hey,
I bring the bands
we
to you
might-
and the Pilates bars and,
and we might can do that, because that, like, now I'm working out.
yeah.
I did do that. I get into the gym. I go to the gym 3 days out of the week, and I do sort of understand how to work out because
Mhm.
I've done it before, but I don't do it to that extreme anymore. And I make sure that I'm not, using like heavy weights and
Right,
everything
right.
because, you know,
You know,
I'm
it's
just
funny.
trying to be very, very healthy.
I tell people the story. You know Tom Brady, the
Hmm.
famous football player.
Yes.
Back in the day, he was lifting super heavy weights. He was looking all swole, lots of muscles, but he was getting injured all the
The
time.
time. Yeah.
Now, if you look at him, he's not as bulky. He uses a lot of resistant bands. He uses a lot of light weights. And actually, instead of bulking up on the muscle, he's doing strength training that's helping him with injury prevention. And
Yeah.
that's what I tell people. I tell them, hey, stretching, flexibility, mobility, balance, all of those are super key components to building muscle. A lot
Hmm.
of people, they just say, oh, I'm going to go in there and I'm going to lift really heavy. And I'm like, you're going to hurt yourself. And that's going to put you back even further.
Hmm.
So why not take it slow, take baby steps, look at all of the different things that you need to work on, like yoga,
Yeah.
like foam rolling,
Hmm.
like stretching, using resistant bands, and they're like this little flimsy thing, what's this going to do? I'd be like, you'll
Oh,
be
those things are,
surprised.
yeah,
You'll be surprised.
because it takes actually you're using more muscle when you're using those resistance
Yep.
band
Yep.
because of like if you put them on your legs. I remember putting them on my ankles. You have to concentrate on taking those
Balance.
steps, balancing and all of that, and you feel it
Oh,
and
yeah.
more, like on a machine where you're just lifting that weight up. You're working
Yep.
on, the front,
Quads.
yeah.
And some of
But
the times, instead of using machines, using your own body weight,
yeah.
doing the sit-ups, doing the
Hmm.
push-ups, doing the squats. You don't need any machines at all.
Yeah.
And that's what I tell people is like, if you stretch, do a couple yoga poses, doing some body weight exercises, you don't need anything.
Yeah.
You need a trainer to help you go through it and watch your breathing and your form and stuff. But honestly, a lot of people put too many things in front of them, like, well, I don't have this machine and I don't have that and I don't have this and this and that. And I'm like, you don't need anything.
Yeah.
You just need you to be
Yeah.
motivated.
Yeah. And um I wanted to also touch on that because your industry is overly saturated.
Big time.
What are some of the things that you see in your own industry, from other people that just like really annoys you
I'm
and
so
you feel
tired
like
of
it's a waste of people money and time?
stepping out of a client wanting a personal trainer. I'm looking at the oversaturation of coaches helping personal trainers. You want to make 10,000 a month, you want to make 20,000 a month and sign up for my program. I'm like, are you kidding me? Like, really? Like, this is a market where you're going to have highs and lows,
Mm-hmm.
and a lot of people think they're just going to get rich by
Yeah.
signing up to this coach and them
Yes.
teach. So that's so oversaturated.
And that's in every industry.
It is.
You have these, and that's one thing, on another note, a project that I'm working on. Those are the things that I touch on because you have so many people, like you said, that sees these videos and they're looking at the reason. Okay, when you're getting into marketing, you learn those key points or terms that's going to have more people listen in or click
Yep.
on it.
Yep.
And the fact that they're saying 10,000, 20,000, and you're in the industry
Yep.
that the fluctuation in the
Oh, it's
revenue
up and
is
down
up and down,
so
it's
much.
easy for people to, attach themselves to that.
So if you have a good
And
month, invest
yeah,
in your company.
yeah.
Get the equipment you need, or this is my secret,
Mm-hmm.
is being unique, unlike anyone
One
else.
else, yeah.
When I'm on TikTok or Instagram or Facebook or YouTube, I do the question of the day
Mm-hmm.
that sometimes has nothing to do with exercise.
Mm-hmm.
My question of the day recently was, what is the most valuable thing in your life?
Mm-hmm.
And when you have several things that are valuable to you in your life, how do you pick and prioritize those things? Simple things like that. How do you overcome stress? Question of the day. Do you have people that suck your energy, or do you have people in your life that fill your cup?
Yeah.
So I don't talk about exercise or protein shakes. I talk about things more
That's
in
yeah,
depth.
but that's touching on that emotional part.
Emotional,
And
because
if
the
you could get
mental
that
starts with the mental.
emotional and the mental, okay, then the exercise will come.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And I
And that's a
also,
good thing to do. That's
absolutely.
actually, really smart.
And I look at, I'm unique because I have my own gym. How many
Hmm.
personal trainers actually have their own private gym? Not a lot.
Not a lot.
A lot
Yeah.
of them go and they work for the big box gyms.
Yep.
I've seen dozens and dozens of people only last so long.
Mm-hmm.
Where with me, I wanted to take it to a level where, okay, it's not the fanciest gym and I don't have all the equipment that's out there, bless you, but I do have all of the tools and the tricks and the methods of what worked for me to get over the grief, to get over all of the mental stuff that was going on, all the garbage, to
Mm-hmm.
get rid of that, to have the benefits of looking good,
Yeah.
to have the benefits of feeling good, and to have the benefits mostly of being healthy.
Yeah.
And those are the things that I think people take for granted when they just want to have bigger arms or they want to have a smaller waist. It's like, well, let's take a lot of steps back
Yeah.
and work what works for you.
And it looks so unnatural now
I know.
with the waist and them,
I know.
going and get the, tummy tucks and everything. It just looks so unnatural to have such a small waist and then you're widening it out. It doesn't even look
Well,
natural.
and now that social media again and the filters, and you
Mm-hmm.
have apps that can squeeze your waist smaller or make your butt bigger or make
Uh-huh.
your bicep. So, I mean, okay, duh, back in the day of the magazines, that was already done,
Yeah.
the touch ups.
Uh-huh.
But now that you have apps that can do it for you,
A lot of people
a
are
lot of
going
people
for it.
have this misconception of what's real and what's not.
Mm-hmm.
And also, the instant gratification is on steroids nowadays. I want instant this, I want instant that, and I'm going to
Yeah.
pay for it, and I'm going to do whatever it takes, and I don't want to work for it. I just want it
Yeah.
given to me.
That
So,
work
yeah.
is gone. That work ethic is gone. You know, something that, you had touched on. And
Mm-hmm.
I don't want it to be a sore spot for you, but I wanted to
Okay.
go back
All right.
to it. And you touched on that you had made the decision to go into this because it helped you through
Oh, yeah.
that grieving.
When I
That
found out
grieving.
my sister was going to die,
Mm-hmm.
I literally mentally just shut down.
And how old were you at
I
that
was
time?
32, she was 34.
Mm-hmm.
And I said, I'm not going to go I'm not going in that dark hole.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to do whatever I can to get out, crawl out, do whatever I need to do. So I found a coach that helped me.
Mm-hmm.
I told him my situation. He said, I'm going to help you. I'm going to help you get through this. And it was difficult, me tears streaming down my face while I'm working out, lifting weights. But this
Mm-hmm.
is the reason why I'm here. And I just needed to be around people that supported me. And that was the most important thing, was that knowing I couldn't do this alone,
Right.
you know?
And out of it, you found something
Yeah.
that you love doing,
And I'm able to
you
help other people
and
now.
your other yes.
Yep.
And I wanted to touch on that because you have a lot of young people out here
Mm-hmm.
that wants to be entrepreneur, and they're gravitating to things that they feel like you said, that's instant. And I've seen a lot of them get into this personal training,
Yeah.
and
Being an entrepreneur, you got to be able to go through the risks and the scary things. And like, thank God I have you. Because
uh-huh,
I'm telling you what, there were times where I'm like, oh my God, what am I going to do? Oh my God, I'll call Sheila. Well, I mean, my boyfriend uses you for taxes.
yeah,
And I saw the benefits that he was able to like just have you handle for him. So I was like, okay, I really need to take this business thing seriously if I'm going to take myself seriously.
right,
And so there's a lot of risk taking. There are a lot of things that you have to be able to hold on when the times get tough.
yeah.
That it can be scary when you're running your own business.
But I like the fact that you said you said it was at 32,
Mm-hmm.
and I was getting to a point because on another project that I'm working on.
Yeah.
Nobody knows about it, but that was one thing that, you know, I didn't figure out what I wanted to do and what my direction was until I was in my late 40s.
Yeah, it took me a minute to find my talent.
Mm-hmm.
I did broadcasting, I did journalism. I was a hypnotist assistant at Hooters. I did everything. I was almost
Yeah.
about to do Uber. And
Yeah.
it's like, I almost had to just let go and let God handle it for me.
Mm-hmm.
Because taking that time off to realize how important family time was,
Yeah.
I don't have any regrets. And then through that, I was able to refine myself.
Yeah.
And then I was able to slow down and really kind of take my time
Mm-hmm.
to hone in on my craft, because that cannot be attained by instant. You have to work for it. I mean, how hard did it take for you to go through all the school that you went through, Sheila, that you were telling me to get to where you're at?
Oh my God. And that's the point. You know, you are touching on the points that I'm trying to help
Yep.
these people out here understand that being an entrepreneur is not easy. And I'm telling you, at a young age, like I said, I didn't find it until I was 49.
Yep.
And I had went to school. I had 2 associate's degree, a bachelor's degree. I got 2 master's degree, right? And then on top of that, I started taking all of these, the CPA, the EA, all of these certificates. I
Yep.
even passed a certificate to be a certified forensic accountant.
Right.
Do I use it? No. But all of this time, it took me to get me where I'm at now.
Because you were finding yourself. You're going through this and going through that and going all these
yes.
certifications, do this,
Mhm.
but you were giving yourself time.
But
And a lot of student
today,
loan.
a lot of people don't give themselves time.
No, you got
And
it.
then they
and-
beat themselves up when they fail at it.
Well, and because they want the fancy car, they want the
Mhm.
lavish lifestyle, they want to show all of this oodles of goodness on IG. And it's like, you know what? Show yourself in the real.
Yeah.
That way you're going to build the trust with people who are going to
Yeah.
follow you. You're
Mhm.
going to have the reputation that people can trust.
Yes.
You got to have testimonials that you actually can do what you say you're going to do.
Yep.
And if people sit here and say, you'll make $20,000 a month if you just follow my little program, it's like, I'm not knocking that there are people that know what they're doing.
Yeah.
And that's why they do make the millions of dollars that they do.
Yeah.
But take a step back and actually look at when they first started.
Yes.
And they were eating top ramen in their little studio apartment, riding their bicycle.
Exactly. Right. You
That's
hit
the
it
real.
right there. And then all of these ones that, people always want to, you see so many posts where they're talking about the Bill Gates and the different ones. But if you look at their story,
When they started.
when they started, and some of them, the guy with Facebook, how many times did he try
Mark
something?
Zuckerberg?
But yeah, he failed at it until until he found that.
Well, and he started
it's not easy.
He started Facebook as like a hot or not dating
They-
app that was
yeah.
just for fun with him and his friends just sitting there and and then all of a sudden it turned into this insane multi-billion-dollar company where
Yes.
it's like, let's look back at the roots of what it really was started as.
Yes. And so many people, because you have some out there that has that success and they gained that success through the help of others, but they came on top.
Yep.
And as if they did all of it. They did all of it by themselves.
Yeah.
And
No.
so when you come into my office, you see the work of not just me, you see the
Your
work
team.
of my team. They decorated, they painted it. That crazy wall that has all of these different colors. My staff did that. And when they brought it to me, I was like, what? Why would I want that? It's just like, it's so convoluted, like it's going to cause confusion. Everybody see all of these different colors. And then guess what? Everyone that came in said, this is awesome.
Yeah, and
I love this.
It's like every color represents one person
Yeah.
that is a part of your team.
Yes.
And that's the one thing that I bring it to is, in order to get the goals that you want, you have to have a dream and you have to have a team around you to support that goal. And you can't just do it yourself. And back to being in fitness, you have to work out.
Yes.
Work and work and work and
out.
find out what works.
Yeah, out.
Figure it
Just
out.
telling you guys to get out of the house.
Yes.
So, I wanted to go back to another thing that you said. And you said that, what you learned was that life is short.
Oh, yes.
And
yep.
Again, that's one thing that, like going through these different stages and projects that I'm working on, that was touched on. And so the average person, and this is the way that I explained it, the average person is to live, according to the Bible, 70 to 80 years old, right?
Yep.
And this is showing that is true because if they take the statistics, the average person lives, if you go past that 80, then you're pretty strong.
Yep.
So I didn't figure out what I wanted to do until I was in my late 40s. So now 40 years I spent trying to figure out what I'm going to do. And some of the, wealthiest people now, they will tell you that they didn't figure out, like a designer didn't do her first dress until she was 40 something, almost 50.
Yep.
So that first 40, 50 years you are spending figuring out, like you said,
but it's
what
good
you want to do.
You can still be you're a big
right.
kid now. You can still be a big kid. Yeah, exactly.
But, on what you were saying, that life is short. So now being closer to 60, that gives me what? 20 more years.
Yeah.
And why not take those 20 more years to figure out all of the things that I can do? Number one, that is going to, keep me motivated and happy. Number two, help others.
Yep.
Because you're doing something that helps others.
And it helps you.
And it and helping others help you.
Yep.
Right?
Yep.
And that was something that, I literally had to really write down, and I was thinking like, man, life is short.
Yes, it is.
So you should live it. And to live it is, you touched on two things. Number one, you said life is short. Number two, you said you don't know everything. So you have to accept that you don't know everything.
That way you can learn.
Yeah, you can learn and you can grow, and maybe you can find what you want to do quicker than 30 or 40.
And you think if you get stuck in habits and routines, think of all the different phases you've gone through in life within a year, within 5 years, within 10 years. How many different phases you've gone through and how you have to let go of those phases in order to be reborn into something else. A good quote I love saying, life is a gift. That's why they call it the present.
Yeah.
Because it is. And, you think of how fast time flies by. So take the time to slow down and stop looking for instant this and I want the quick now. And actually realizing if you slow down and you really take your time, it's going to pay off.
Yeah.
Because then you can really think about deeply the things that matter most to you, and you can try this. And if it didn't work out, go back to the drawing board.
Yeah.
Always have a goal in mind. And when that goal is accomplished, have another goal, have another goal. You never want to sit here and say, okay, I'm done. I'm done.
Yeah.
All the goals are accomplished. Because then that's when people just give up.
Yeah.
You have to stay busy. You have to do things that you enjoy. And most of all, things that you're doing for other people that's going to help you build, a good conscience. It's going to make sure you're doing and being a good person, having good karma and having good energy and spreading that around and helping fill other people's cups at the end of the day.
Yeah, that's, and one thing that I can, attest to when it comes to you is that, I see how you are with people. You are, genuine, and you bring that light.
Thank you.
If it is, I've never, heard anything negative from you,
Thank you.
which is amazing because everybody has something negative,
Yeah.
but no matter what your situation is, you always see the positive in it. And I'm sure that you bring that to your clients as well.
I do. I love watching The Secret. Energy flows where energy goes.
Mm-hmm.
And if you're always making sure that you're bringing out the best in yourself, you're going to help bring out the best in others.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, we all have a bad day, and yes, things don't go as planned.
Mm-hmm.
And, make sure that you have someone you can lean on when you have those times that are tough.
Yeah.
Someone that can listen to you.
Mm-hmm.
It is important to make sure that we have good quality people around us.
Right.
And it's not just the quality, it's the quantity. How many people do you have that you truly, truly can make sure that they are the people you want to have in your life? We've gone through a lot of, friends and relationships and, family can be tough too.
Very tough.
But at the same time, you have to make sure that you don't give up on your goals. You make sure that you continue on finding out new things about yourself.
So, yeah.
Letting go that you may not know everything.
Mm-hmm.
And, life isn't all about holding our phone and looking in a screen. It definitely, look at how, for anyone who has lived life without a cell phone, think about how slow life was, how genuine conversations were.
It was.
How people kept their word.
Yes.
How people looked at each other in their eye and actually had longer attention spans.
Mm-hmm.
Where now
education was even different.
Yeah.
It's horrible now.
Yep.
It's like you're allowing the internet to teach you.
Yep.
You're allowing, IO and GP chat and everything just to take over, your language of how you speak and what you do.
It's crazy.
So, yeah.
So it's taking time to slow down
mm-hmm.
and really understand life is what you make it.
Yes. And, I was watching this video, this past week. I'm always watching spiritual videos.
That's good.
So
Yeah.
don't judge me for this. But, he was talking about he was talking about an equation,
Mm-hmm.
and he used the term of zero.
Yep.
And he says, now, if you take zero and you multiply it by any number, what are you going to get?
Zero.
You're going to always get zero,
Yep.
right? But now, then he used it, with information, and things that we do in our life. Because with that information, there's truths and then there's non-truths.
Right.
Right? So in the equation, you might get something out of that. For example, the videos that you were talking about, and you say, we're going to coach you and we're going to bring you $10,000 or $20,000 in a month. Looking at that video, there might be some truths to it.
Yeah.
But there's a lot of non-truths. And it's you to take the time to figure out what those non-truths are.
The fluff.
Right. Because you have Google, you have Wikipedia, you have all of these different sites that you can put stuff in. And when you do that, there's a slew of information that comes up. But not all of that information you're getting is the truth. You have to learn how to, decipher out, pick out the truths from the non-truths, and he shared, as I said, it was a spiritual.
Which is good.
But
praise the Lord.
He shared an account from, the scriptures, which I'm not going to use, but I simply, thought about what he said. And I went back and I said, like with the first story, and where Satan was telling Eve, okay, if you take from this tree, you're going to know good from bad. So looking at that, he actually told the truth. She would know something that she didn't know that God already knew.
Mm-hmm.
But the non-truths of what was the consequence, all of the domino effect that happened afterwards.
She did it anyways.
Yes, but
she bit the apple.
But the importance of it, that I'm trying to bring out is that there, everything that we have and we go through in our life, it has that zero in that equation.
Absolutely.
And so you have to figure out, even if it's a 9 or a 10 or whatever, we have to figure out the truths that's from that, and we have to pull it, and we have to try to eliminate the zero in order so that we can have that fact. And the zero in that equation, when he was doing it spiritually, that zero was Satan.
And to think about, to elaborate on that, when you have the result you want, there's always going to be a pro and a con, no matter how you look at it. And not only that, but it's never going to be exactly how you wanted it.
Yes.
Whatever it is in life, you're going to learn stuff. You're going to make mistakes. You're going to get the goal that you want. But then you're going to be like, oh my God, my original plan is like completely black and white from what I thought it was going to be.
Yeah.
And there's also negatives and there's positives. Just like having too much money is probably going to bring some problems.
Right.
Not having enough money is probably going to bring some problems. There's also the benefits that you got to look at the positive sides of life, as cheesy as it sounds. Right. You got to look at the positives, because no matter how you look at it, life is a balance.
Yes. Well, it was so wonderful having you on here. And I want you to tell the audience how they can reach you.
Yeah.
Tell them your Instagram page.
You got it.
All of the page and how they can contact you.
MichelleDavisFitness.com website, pretty much across the board. Facebook, Instagram, YouTube is all Michelle Davis Fitness. TikTok is MDFit702. I don't know why someone else had Michelle Davis Fitness, but I was thinking Michelle Davis Fitness OG. Is that TikTok? But yeah, pretty much MichelleDavisFitness.com. And if anyone wants to come to my gym, take a little tour. I also give free gifts for anyone that stops by. So that way you can just come on in and take a look and meet me and see if it's something that you'd actually like to try.
Yes, but it has been such a pleasure to have you on here. And I want to thank all of you out there listening. Thank you for, listening in to another episode of the Business Fumbles, and where we believe that education that is not shared is useless. So we want to hear about your experiences. If you are interested in coming in and sitting down with me and telling your story, telling all about your fumbles, the mistakes that you made, so that it can help the next person, please comment below, give us your information, and we will reach out to you. You all have a wonderful week, and we will see you again next week.